Have you ever tried coconut oil pulling?
I mean, I even use, well, of course, mouthwash, pain pills, and what they call it, and olive oil. I heard olive oil. Well, I've read olive oil, which I've used it before. Virgin olive oil helps with the infection and soothe the tooth or what have you. So it's soothe down the way I could do a little something, something. That's right. I'm working with an injury, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working with an injury. So how you been?
I've been good. I've been all right. Busy. I do so many things. Sometimes it's hard to, like, it's like one time, when I take one hat off, I put another hat on. And so that always kind of keeps me going.
Yeah, cause I see you. We last talked. You did some stand up comedy. I saw
Still
a
doing
video
the
that you
stand up.
posted.
Yes, I have two of my performances I do have on YouTube.
Hmm.
And then I have my first actual performance, like my first book performance, on the 18th of this month. So a
Oh.
little bit about that. It's an adult content show, and my jokes are definitely adult content because a lot of it's based on my work.
Hmm.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited at the same time. My whole family is coming, so to crack jokes about prostitution in front of my family is going to be a little uncomfortable. But I'm not. They know what I do, so I'm not really like. I'm not shy in my general life about those things.
Hmm.
And then plus also with thinking that I'm on the spectrum,
Hmm.
it is what it is for me. So I don't really pussyfoot around things. If that's what's happening, then that's what's going on, and I do consider myself a full service sex worker. So
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, the jokes come from that. I feel conflict about that a little bit because
Hmm.
really the comedy is to with the intention of getting out of sex work.
Hmm.
So like someone had put it to me this way, and I thought it made perfect sense. Talking about word spells. And
Hmm.
like I feel like sometimes that the basis of my jokes being on my sex work keeps that energy in my life, and I was really trying to head a different way. But everyone who I suggest that to, well, most everyone except for one person who had said the word spells thing, is like, no, that's what people find funny, and it's true. I do find that if I'm kind of like wavering a little bit in my set, if I feel like maybe what I'm not really hitting the audience, I might use a
Hmm.
buzzword, like the fact that I do escort, or the fact that I'm in porn, or
Hmm.
like it's a kind of a quick go-to for me because everybody's gonna laugh because they're a little bit uncomfortable, but for me it's everyday life. So yeah, let me rein it back in. I have my first show on March 18th. So I'm excited. That journey still continues. I've met a lot of cool people. One night I went to go to the open mic that I perform at in Oakland, which is at Rob Ben's. Shout out Rob Ben's. It's Marshawn Lynch bought a restaurant for his mom, and they host a
Hmm.
comedy open mic on Friday nights. So I go and I perform there. The host is there's two hosts. The kind of like promoter of the show is Lewis Belt, who has Do Too Much Comedy, and the host of the show is a gentleman named Skinny Buff, who is just really hilarious. So these are all the people that I've been going and practicing my jokes with. That's another thing that makes it kind of hard is because like where my show is a completely different demographic than where I practice at. So
Hmm.
kind of trying to find a little balance. There's some jokes that I tell in Oakland that they just wouldn't get in Reading. But one of my go-to jokes is like pretty universal. Um, I'm as you can tell, I'm just a little bit nervous. Um, I I enjoy porn, but as time goes on, it keeps getting more expensive to make, and it keeps getting more dangerous to make. And
Oh
I
yeah.
feel about those things. It's like we had a big production hold, and then all of a sudden, they lift the production hold for us to go to AVN, but a lot of more senior
Hmm.
creators were not interested in working at AVN because they were like,
Hmm.
I have enough content stored up for me not to have to risk my body like this.
Hmm.
So as much as I I enjoy my career and my path in porn. I feel like it's kind of coming maybe Sarah J always says don't say that you're going to retire. So I'm not retiring. That's not what's happening. I still plan on putting out content, but I have been focusing my energy on different things. My highest goal in life is to be a Proverbs 31 woman. I know a lot of that path is being a wife. I don't think I'm necessarily ready to be a wife yet, but there's a lot of things in there. You know, that it's a value system. This woman has her own businesses, and she supports the needy, and she takes care of her family, and she cooks, and she makes investments, and she does all of these things. So when I started looking at my life and my path, and also the fact that I am an ordained minister and I have had the opportunity to utilize that skill a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, like what I'm doing is not aligning with what I say I want my life to be or what I say I want my
Mm-hmm.
life to look like. So I was like, okay, let me start leaning more into these Proverbs 31 activities. So I've been doing a lot of clothing making. I work with a clothing brand called the Dope Era, so I've been recycling their streetwear into different clothes. A lot of their
Nice.
clothes are very I'm sorry, what was that?
I said nice.
Yeah. A lot of their clothes are very masculine, so I've been kind of making things like with a little bit more feminine flair. I've been
Mm-hmm.
also making some different purses and just kind of focusing on activities that are outside of video because dog, it's like first of all, selling pussy during the holidays is already rough because people are taking their money and they're giving that to their families. I put this in
Mm-hmm.
my comedy set. Like, pussy's always slow during the holidays. So, because people, they're spending their money on other people. That's buying that is a luxury for them, but they're buying gifts for their cousins and their families and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
then on top of that, January comes, they put us on a production hold from video, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that is very scary. It did not feel sustainable, even if I had passion for video.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been kind of really focusing on some different things and what's new and what's next for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's also hard. Like the producers never really picked me up. They were like, I don't know what the qualm was. And when in the business community, when you don't get an opportunity, you can ask the
Mm-hmm.
person, hey, like, do you have any coaching opportunities for me so that when I
Mm-hmm.
try with the next person that I might be successful. But that's not something that works really in porn. I feel like porn is the only industry that I've ever been in where the more experience you have, the more negative it is because they're like, oh, we didn't get that first. We didn't get your first
Oh,
anal scene. We didn't get your first
see
anything.
now. Hold on, wait one second. Hold up, 'cause I got to speak to the smokers, and then we can really get this thing going. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Smokers Lounge. You know who I am, Captain Officer of a Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Find all my links with allmylinks.com/ porn rap star. Also, four wonderful sponsors to tell you about. The first one being the Facebook LS community, lsworld.com. Next up, the highest adult magazine in the game, magazine.com. Next up, for you content creators, 90% profit. For you consumers, a new place to consume your triple X content. We're talking about excitebunny.com. And last but not least, award winning, award nominated. We're talking about smut with voiceover, and they even have shit for your Oculus. That's right. They have virtual reality. We're talking about blusherotica.com. We're a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and buy from over 500 black owned retailers and shops. Also go to fullyswapradio.com in the mornings. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and listen to the Smokers Lounge over there as I chop up to with ladies like her and many of the best in the adult film industry, from producers, directors. No telling who I might interview, but you ain't gonna find out unless you go to fullyswapradio.com. Also check me out at skyhawkafterdarktv.com, as well as the BGP LLC app. And as you was listening to this lady go on and go on, you know who she is. You done heard her. You done seen her in the premium smoke room. You done heard her millions of times on this show. She's one of my favorite smoke buddies. The one, the only, the gorgeous, the sexy, who I've also got a little crush on. Kylie BBW. Say hello to the smokers.
Oh, the fans go wild. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. So sorry I jumped off into everything so quickly. We
Oh,
forgot
nah,
how fast
nah,
this
nah.
goes.
we love when you do that. So we gonna go back for a second because it's just a lot of things that you said. And as
Yes,
far as your comedy is
I got
concerned,
a lot going on. That is right.
yeah, as far as your comedy is concerned, I see no issue with you talking about your prostitution, about the porn, because the best comedy is based off of real life situations. Like I watched the Chris Rock special last night, and he
Mm.
talked about what happened between him and Will Smith. It was funny as fuck, but true. You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, some of the funniest stories I've ever heard came from prostitutes. Because some of the shit y'all have to deal with, especially with clients, is kind of comedy, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of material there. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I include in my jokes is that even though I only started stand-up comedy in October, but I've made
Mm-hmm.
thousands of dollars off of it
Mm-hmm.
because one of the first jokes that I cracked was about how I have a heavy pussy and I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
fan of a one-piece outfit. But now that I'm aging, I need to wear panties because they talk about your balls sagging, but they never talk about if you got a fat coochie, it's gonna start sagging too. So, uh, so there was this kid, right? Not a kid, but a young man, younger. I'm 40, so a young man who
Mm-hmm.
they put this joke online, and
Mm-hmm.
then this kid who follows the comedy people, he been selling this pussy out ever since. Man, they can't get enough of me. So it's been the cross marketing is really going fantastic.
Mhm. I can believe it. You know, because see, also at the same token, that some of the fans that might be listening, they might go watch your porn after even hearing the comedy set. End up becoming, members and subscribers because you're introducing your shit to a broader audience anyway when you're doing comedy.
I really need to start being prepared with taking my cards. And then also, I'm struggling a little bit with only being one person. So I
Mm-hmm.
do not live where I do my comedy at. That's a 3.5 hour drive. But then I also
Mm-hmm.
have to drop my son off at his grandparents. So by the time I have got to the comedy show, I've been driving for 5 hours. So
Mm-hmm.
there is like when you see me at an adult entertainment event, Kylie BBW is like full lashes, full makeup, hair, dress,
Mm-hmm.
nails, everything. But when I'm getting to this comedy stage, I look like a middle-aged lesbian woman that's mildly homeless. Like, because it's like I have so many other responsibilities that I'm handling, and then
Mm-hmm.
also with the clothing thing has actually been
Mm-hmm.
pretty successful for me. It took off really quickly. I started working with this girl in the Bay Area. Shout out my friend Dala. She is a promoter in the Bay Area, so she gave me the opportunity to start making some different pieces for her. So, like for example, the last time that I had this problem, it's like I drive 5 hours to get there. I sign in on the comedy sheet. I go to her house, I drop off the clothes, I make sure that they fit because we had a photo shoot for her the next day, which I was
Mm-hmm.
styling. And then I go
Damn.
back and I do my joke. So in that time, I don't have the time to do like hair, makeup, all the other shit. So when I hit the stage, I was in like Crocs, sweats, a sweatshirt. So when I'm up there and I'm being like, yeah, I'm a famous porn star prostitute, they're like, you ugly bitch. Because like I know I have my own sparkle and my own enamor and my own beauty when I don't have
Mm-hmm.
my makeup on, but having my
Mm-hmm.
hair and makeup really changes me. So I am having a great time, but I'm trying to tighten it up. I'm trying to get all the pieces together. And it was so upset because like I went a day early so I could alleviate this problem. And then when I got to the comedy thing, I was too late. The sign up sheet was full. And I was like, for real, like come on, man,
Mm-hmm.
I drive a long way. And the lady mama comedy, she was like, nope, sorry, not tonight. And I knew with her pressing a hard line like that and her knowing that I came a long way, something, like, okay, it is what it is. They really can't get me in. So
Mm.
then the host ended up doing like a little bit of practice, and it ended up that the cast
Mm.
of Wild 'N Out was there. Like three of the members of the
Nice.
cast of there. So they ended up performing. So even though I was very tragically sad, because like if I would not have done my hair and makeup, if I would have showed up bummy like I usually do, then I would have got to crack my jokes off, but I didn't. So I was like, is it really so bad? Like, who am I, Kylie, that get to say, oh yeah, I was bumped by the Wild 'N Out cast. I didn't get to perform tonight because Wild 'N Out people did. So I was like, okay, yeah, that was sad, but it's gonna be okay. I'm growing, I'm learning. I have a lot of support from other people who are
Mm.
already on the path of celebrity. And also other people who are new. Shout out my friend Lady Rock. You can look her up on Instagram. She does comedy there as well. If you
Mm.
go to the it's on Instagram, it's do too much ENT.
Mm.
And then you could find the number two. It's do the number two much ENT on Instagram,
Mm.
and you could find all of the comedians that I'm talking about there if you're interested in those types of things and people. But yeah, just an amazing support system. It just came as such a surprise because, bro, okay, my friend had this birthday party and Ti did stand up at his birthday party, and it was like the first time Ti did it. And then shortly
Mm.
after that, Too Short did it. And it was like when I'm watching this, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, the next person in the natural progression of this series is obviously Kylie. So
Yeah.
I just asked them, like, could you help me with this? And it's just been working out really, really well. This is such a stupid thing to be nervous about, but I need it to
Mm.
be like a slow pace to kind of pop off because
Mm.
I my son went into the system twice associated with drug and alcohol problems, mental health problems
Mm.
associated with sex work, and I got all of those things turned around. I have my son, and I only have 3.5 more years before he goes to college. So
Oh.
that's where my focus is. It doesn't matter, what opportunity comes knocking until this mission is done. I can't go. And, that's a lot of times too, even for me, a stifling part of collabs
Mm.
is like people, they're like, well, can you come and do this or meet me at this time or do this? And it's
Mm.
just like, I would love to, but I have to move on school breaks because
Mm.
it's me and only me. I don't really have a lot of family support. So, just as far as the comedy and everything is going, I just really, when my son transitions to his next part of life in 3.5 years,
Mm.
I feel that many doors are on the path of opening very wide right now. So just staying diligent with the things that I'm doing. I just got a pretty big opportunity. I haven't had like the opportunity to work yet, which is good because I
Mm.
had a lot of catastrophes in my house this week. But
Mm.
I made this jacket out of a blanket. I always say the hood loves its
Yeah,
blanket.
I saw that on your page. I was like, man, you a woman that has many talents,
I
really.
really am. And that's what I was saying in the beginning of the interview when I said I was trying to lean into the activities of a Proverbs 31 woman. One of them
Mm.
is that it says her family has no clothes for fear for winter because they're all clothed in velvet. And
Mm.
so I just kept having it impressed upon my heart to turn this blanket into a jacket for my
Mm.
I have a new girlfriend and her grandma is 101 years old, and she just reminds me so much of my grandma. I come from a Hispanic background, and
Mm.
just that jacket, if you have the opportunity to see it, it has a Virgin Mary on the back, big roses. It's way Latina flair. And I just kept thinking, like, my grandma would love this jacket. I bet this lady would also love this jacket. So
Mm.
even though we weren't like, it's a budding for it's not like aggressive, but it's not a common day and age type thing for people to sew things for people. So like
Mm-hmm.
when you're becoming new friends and it's like, oh, here, I made you this thing. Sometimes people don't really know how to react to that, but I kept feeling like getting this impression, right, to do it. So man, it busted the doors wide open. Another person saw the work and they had been looking, they have a venture in Vegas. Shout out Executive Prince. And they are going to give me the opportunity to cut and sew some things with them, which they think is going to open a big door, which was really my intention. So I think that all of these things that are happening, right now I just got a lot going on, dog. It's like everything is coming up
But
price.
see, I think what it is kind of, there's something you were saying when you came back when we were talking about the porn. A lot of girls been saying that they've been scaling back on the boy girl content, more so focusing on their fetish. Actually, this is about to be the year of fetish because a lot of girls gonna be doing a lot of fetish work lately, and a lot of it has to do with what's going on with testing, TTS, the work stoppages, and everything. So it what you're doing is kind of not a shock. It's actually what's going on in the industry anyway, because a lot of girls are trying to find other means than just doing boy girl content.
Well, not only that, but I heard this young gentleman, it was like some sort of blurb on social media, but the young man said that streamers are making way more than rappers. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
become the truth also for porn stars. That if we were to transfer to SFW content, that we would
Mm-hmm.
be making more money by being able to access the streaming platforms because Instagram is pressing a hard motherfucking line on content creators, adult work content creators. Everybody I know has had their Instagram deleted. Literally everybody. Some people who don't even post their spicy content on there. So yeah, just looking at different opportunities. You're right. It's gonna be, I don't know. Like when I went to AVN, like it's, I went, I was, I was I didn't know how to feel about this situation. So my girlfriends had told me that one of the people that I was working with that they don't actually have sex in their videos. But I guess I didn't really conceptualize that, absorb it, understand it. Like I heard it, but I didn't get it. So
Yeah,
when I got
because I know allegedly I've heard like in the case of let's say Gibby the clown, that I heard Gibby might get head in the scene, but he don't necessarily fuck the girls a lot of times. Um, which kind of makes sense why he can go so long pounding the fuck out of their asses while coming. But um, to be honest with you, porn stars got to have a PG side of their content
yeah,
because the reason for it is because, like you said, there's no streaming for porn. The only streaming platform streaming is adult time. Period. And I'm pretty sure they're a little. They're a little. It's a little difficult to get into their shit. Period.
right.
And then the other streaming platforms might be what AEBN, Hot Movies. Period. Which
I feel like
they.
AVN has destroyed itself. I feel like if somebody wanted to take over as the primary leader of the industry, they would really have the opportunity. The treatment that we received at AVN was trash. I understand that they got a new contract, but it was a motherfucking shit show. I had messaged them and I was like, oh, what process do we do create? Okay, so first of all, when I went to AVN the first time, I had been given a pass through my streaming services, like
Mhm.
through StreamMate. But then when California banned gig workers and stuff that, or like um, California changed the labor laws, so StreamMate you
Mhm.
could not use in California anymore. So didn't have access
Mhm.
to that. So then the next time that I went, I got my pass through AVN Stars, but now that is also debunked too. So
Mhm.
I emailed them before AVN, and I was like, "Hey, what do I do to get my pass?" and they were like, oh, well, you can contact, these particular streaming services, which were services that I was registered for, but I wasn't really using, like My Free Cams as a co-host, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, couldn't get access to a pass. So eventually I ended up buying a pass because I had other opportunities there that I needed
Mm-hmm.
to meet, right? So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, shit, okay, if I paid you guys the $350 for the pass, then it's gonna be 5 star. It's gonna be all access. But it wasn't. I'm sure they had to pay more for their contract with Resorts World. I understand they had trouble finding a home.
Mm-hmm.
But like we didn't
And,
get
and two and
call.
two
We
and
didn't get
two did
food.
and
Like
two.
anything that I was used to as a performer from previous AVNs was gone.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have a makeup lady they would let us use, gone. None of that. So I had to pay for it on
Mm-hmm.
top of the fact that there were less services. And then in the end, they I signed up for for a signing time at the AVN booth, and they messaged me and they were like, oh, where do you want us to email your pass? And I was like, well, I've been going through this process with you for a month and you made me buy one. So why don't you reimburse me my $350? And she was like, oh, no, we can't do that. And I said,
That's fucked
I'm
up.
a timeout from conversation because I'm really upset right now. I was pissed. I was so mad. I went and sat in the pineapple lounge and was like trying to like recollect myself because it's just like that was their lack of miscommunication. That was their disorganization. I understand from other people in the industry that a couple years ago they fired their staff, so they're working with all new staff. But it was fucking terrible, dog. And there's no avian. There's no like. That's not a good revenue stream for us anymore.
No, but see, that's the reason why I tell girls you can't be dependent on just the boy girl content, especially this day and age. You got to dip into your fetish bag. You got to find other means within the sex work world to generate income other than boy girl. Because with the fact that these testing, the way the testing been going, the way the workshop has been going, period. It and then with you because once again, because we're talking to many ladies that got stuff going on outside of the adult film industry
Yes.
that makes them money. You got your comedy, you got your clothing. So it's you're not dependent upon the boy girl content. You're not dependent upon porn to generate income, period. Which is a blessing in disguise because let's keep it 100. Everybody has a shelf life when it comes to this business at some point.
Right.
You either get too old for it or you transition to something within the industry where you're no longer in front of the camera. Not everybody stay in front of the camera the
Right.
whole time, period. So because even to the point like when you were talking about like with the companies, these companies, yeah, they still got that thought process of, well, damn, she already did anal. What can I do? She did this. She did this. We're not the first. I hate to tell them, there's no female in this day and age that you're gonna get that's 100% green. Meaning that she's fresh off the boat. We never seen her. She never done nothing on camera, nothing. Because majority of these girls are either gonna be on Instagram or they're gonna have OnlyFans. So they kind of fool themselves when they do that.
Well, I mean, I think really when producers are shopping, that's not the aspect that they're looking for to be green. They're looking for her not to know like what her value is, because the
Mm-hmm.
reality is like anytime that I've been offered a shoot, they're offering me between $600 and $800. And people in this industry, you don't pop off on porn because shit is going good. So a lot of people don't have accounting experience. So they're
Mm-hmm.
looking at it like, oh, I'm making $600. But by the time I have my hair done, my nails done, I wax my coochie, that's $100 right there. That money is it's basically just a trade-off to get onto that person's platforms, because you're investing the money that they're paying you in you gotta
Mm-hmm.
pay for your own testing. It's $300 now that you gotta do the
But
swab.
see, but see, but see, but see, you gotta understand. Back when I came in the game, there was more companies. Like a girl can go to like, for example, let's say if you started in 2008. You could go to California for a month and clear close to 50 to 100 grand because they had that much work. You were shooting back to back to back. When DVDs went away, it dried up. Because I remember producers telling me, "Don't send the girls out here, because what they gonna come out here for? One fucking gig? After they pay their TTS, their airplane ticket, hotel, they breaking even if that. That's part of the reason why girls started escorting so heavy in the first place. Period. So
Yep.
it's and then two, do you really need the companies anymore? Because y'all can blow up on your own. Because the whole
Yeah,
purpose why
man.
you
Me personally, I can really only speak for myself. I need a management. I need somebody that I could trust with my content. A lot of the people who are managing girls' content is offshore third party customer service, and I don't trust that process. I don't trust that they are not stockpiling my videos to be sold at a later date and time on a back end that I don't know or understand. So for me, I do not make that much fucking money, dog. Like I was noticing, I've become a new fan of the girl Coco the Goat, and she
Mhm.
posted that she's made like $38,000 on her OnlyFans in the last 7 days. That's like how much I make a year. Like, no, that is not what is going on around here.
Mhm.
So I know for me, a big part of it is that I'm trying to wear my mom hat and my designer hat and my comedy hat,
Mhm.
and I'm not wearing my customer service hat for my OnlyFans. So I have very dedicated and loyal fans who run me $15 a month to have
Mhm.
access to my page for me to tell them, no, I'm sorry, I can't send you any new videos. And another thing is, you have to be careful of who you work with.
Mhm.
When I was working with content companies, the IDs and the paperwork was like being exchanged and uploaded through WhatsApp. And
Yeah.
because it was like running so fast and working and escorting and doing all of these things, I didn't take the time to download that. So then when those
Mhm.
relationships failed, all of that information disappeared. So now if
Yeah.
I don't have the the information of that person that I worked with from a previous event, then a lot of those people, because I don't work with that content company anymore, are not willing to either speak with me or give me their IDs
Mhm.
for me to use
Mhm.
my content. So it's like,
Well, see, that's what I understand with OnlyFans and mini vids, you can tag them now.
right, and I
So,
respect
so
and appreciate that, but if you build your way up through a certain conglomerate of people and then you
mhm.
tag those people, they're gonna say no. They no.
Well,
I
should
can't run.
they fuck their feelings? Damn it! If you
No.
on many vids and I ain't got your idea, for whatever reason, yes, I will tag you. What the fuck you gonna say? No, you can't tag. Man, get the fuck out of here. See, that's the problem with a lot of people, is that a lot of people don't think with a business mind state. They bring their personal fucking issues into this shit. Period, and they hang ups. It's just like, for example, me and you shot, and for some apparent reason, you lost your 2250, my 2257 ID in my release form. Yeah, if you can't get in touch with me, tag me. Oh, she must have lost her shit. I'm not gonna get mad. A person get mad because you tagged them is an asshole. Just like I don't understand when these girls shoot with these male talents and these male talents don't even tag the girl in the video. What you worried about? You worried she gonna steal your fan base? Nigga, she gonna make more money than you anyway, because she's a chick.
Yeah, it's an interesting industry, dog. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but also part of it is you got to have the passion for this shit. See, that's part of the reason why I ended up retiring. I lost the passion because I ain't even going for it. I got sick and tired of
It'll beat
dealing.
it out of you. It will beat it.
Yeah.
It will literally beat it out of you. It's like there's just so many things like opportunities that I've showed up for that the other party didn't show up for.
Mm.
People not considering me for certain things. Like it's just really a ridiculous place, you know. Nobody,
Mhm.
you don't meet up with people and they are like, yeah, this is really going motherfucking great for me. Like some people, but not the majority, dog. Not the
Man,
majority.
some people had to go and get a job because the
Right.
money's up and down. Period. It's just like, even though not, which is crazy because I got the actual post to interview Miss Coco to go, and I'm looking forward to it. Here's the kicker: she's hot now. The question is a year from now, because see, anybody coming in year one, you gonna get you to a certain extent. It's about that year two, because once the fan base got used to you, now it's about how they react. It's just like, for example, uh, a comedian. A comedian comes out, he says he's stick, he does his jokes, right? Does the joke still hit the same in year one as they do year two? You get what I'm saying?
We'll find
Period.
out because that's actually the key. That's actually the key of it. I was motherfucking shocked because I thought that I had to come up with new content every time I hit the stage. No, that's not what you do. You come up with 5 to 7 minutes of jokes and you do those same jokes every single time to practice, and that's your set, and you get it honed in.
Yeah, yeah.
So we gonna
Because
find out. We gonna see.
yeah, because I mean, because that's the part of the business. It's just like, even with me being retired, I still had to promote my shit. I still had to reintroduce new, the scenes as if they are new. Period. That's the beauty of having multiple platforms. You
Right,
know, because it's only old to people that has seen it. It's new to
right,
anyone else that haven't. Period. But yeah, the sacrifice that we have to endure when it comes to our sex life, personal life, and all that, when it comes to chasing this business, it does take a toll. And yeah, sometimes it's a reason why some people step away from the business, because it's mentally taxing, it's physically taxing. Because shit, them scenes, just because just because it's fucking doesn't mean that we don't get sore, we don't get cramps. Some females have ailments that, you know, like I remember shooting with this girl named Jenna. Jenna, she had to take pain pills before we shot and sniff some coke before we shoot because of her pains. You know, so yeah, it's that's why so many girls now are looking to do fetish, because it's a little bit easier and not as taxing. And the fan
right,
base is a little bit more loyal, and it's a little bit more lucrative, because that fan base pays well for them fetishes, no matter what they are,
well, and
period.
the STDs are like the STDs are really just rampant, getting out of control. Like, like it was like they shut us down, and they activated it back up. Uh, TTS has left the past conglomerate, so they not really even in connection with what's going on,
Mm,
which is the primary place that people really want to test through. Then you have, Clear is still associated with Pass, but they're
yeah.
talking about updating the testing standards. God, I went to my own doctor when all this started. I went to my own doctor to try to get
Mm,
swabbed, and they freaked out so bad that they tried to send me to the infectious health specialist. And I was like, it's not that serious, guys. And then when I was like, okay, so then I stopped trying to even do it through them because I was like, this is traumatizing to me because they were
yeah.
arguing with me that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I was like, look, you are a medical professional, and I'm telling you there are changes that are happening in this realm. And instead of telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, why don't you look up what I'm talking about and see?
Yeah.
So, that had happened. And then when I finally did get with a female doctor and get them to do it to me, they wanted to insert the swab themselves. They like I was like, you know, it's a testing place. They just let me go to the bathroom. Like they don't have
And
any
swab his ass.
out. Yeah, like full stirrups to do the testing. I was like, oh my god,
But
this
see
is all
that's
new
but
to me.
see but see that's what's crazy, because last year there was no such thing as swabbing. Then all of a sudden swabbing became the thing.
because
And
because because the STDs are Chlamydia and gonorrhea are bacterial STDs. So they are
Mm-hmm.
locational. They are not in your full body. So they could not figure out why the STDs were so rampant in the porn community, even though we were testing. And the reason why is because they were living in our throats and our assholes. And I also think, which Jenna Love, she, peer corrected me that we have to talk about both genders, but I think that there is a huge disconnect with the fact that the escorting pretty much is the force of the industry that you're going to do bareback blowjob, and a lot of these girls are out here escorting with clients, sucking their dick raw, and then coming back and doing their shoots, and like Jenna said to make sure, that to say guys are also out doing promiscuous things, which I
Yes.
validate, but a man is not going to go bust down 10 women in one day. If I'm out strong arm hoeing, I'm going to fuck 10 people today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that is, I know people don't like when I say that. I know it's a bold thing to say, but I think it's something that we're kind of being delusional pretend about, that this
But
is not.
see, but see, back in the day, companies would not hire an escort.
It's not
That
possible.
changed over time. That changed over time. But if they heard you escorted, you wouldn't get no work. You wouldn't get Natalie to work. They, you get black it like this. You would get it. It was the equivalent of a man that they found out that was doing gay porn or fucking a transgender. You would be
See, and
blackballed from
I
doing
would
any
never
straight work.
associate with any of those things. So if you asked me, I would tell you, based on my experience and what I have seen, that porn is the commercial for high priced pussy. And that's
Yeah,
what you're doing it for. The intention is to escort because the porn is not paying me. I'm paying the porn.
yeah. Because to be honest with you, that what girls used to do escorting for was, excuse me, used to do porn to boost their escorting, to boost their prices.
Right.
Because now I'm a porn star, so you can't pay me as a regular prostitute. You can't. You got to give me that. You got to give me that porn girl money. You feel what I'm saying?
That is still the rule, because when I am out escorting, my quick visit is just over a little $100. But when I was in Vegas, if you saw me and you knew I was Kylie BBW, we talking 800 and up. And a
Yeah.
lot of the girls, if I talk to other girls, they say that their intro price is 2,000. But I've never been in a situation where 2,000 was a realistic introductory price for me.
Mhm.
Somebody got some more game than me and
Some
they
of these
want to
girls
let me
be
know.
lying. Some of these girls don't be getting no damn 2 grand.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
like
I
that.
know they do. Like, I spent a little time traveling with the girls, and I saw, that my expectations were, what I thought was going on wasn't really what was going on. Everybody has hard days, everybody has good days. Um,
Hmm.
but for myself, the only thing I really wish is just I had more time and dedication to managing my online presence. I think
Hmm.
that if I really was dedicated to that I probably wouldn't have to be out escorting. But 26
Hmm.
days out of the month, I'm somebody's mom. I'm sewing my clothes. I'm writing my jokes. And 4 days out of the month, I'm out running it up so I can do the other things that I like to do.
Hmm.
And a lot of girls, my family, they crack jokes and they always be like, don't get sex trafficked. But really, I'm out here trafficking my motherfucking self. You have to put the same dedication and heart and principles of the concepts that a pimp would give you into what you are doing. Like
Hmm.
you got to push yourself. You got to be like, bitch, you want to get up and do this. You have to maintain those things in your mind. So it's like, just to participate in this game, might not actually be being sex trafficked, but the activities that
But
you're participating in feel
you,
that way, look that way. Like if it looks like a duck and it talks like a duck style.
yeah.
Um,
Because to be honest with you, it like for example, it used to be a time where a girl, I never forget talking to Miss Caution. She was one of the last ones that were getting BBWs or thick women that were getting 1,000%. So that that's not counting anal. They're just straight boy girl. Period. When when these other middle companies started shooting BBWs, the price went down. Thus, the reason why the girls had to escort. Because if I'm going out to California, let's just hypothetically speaking, I go out to California. I got to be able to make enough money to pay bills when I get home and to get my ass home. Period. One or two scenes ain't going to cut it because if they're paying, let's say 500 per scene, right?
Right.
You do two scenes, that's $1,000 that you made. That ain't shit. That ain't shit. When you have when you sit there and make 1,000 within the first 2 hours of your ass got there posting up. Period. So
Right.
it was kind of like it was a necessity. Plus, let's just be honest. When the fans come to see porn stars, they're not coming for an autograph. Period.
Man,
They're not coming for an autograph.
they
No.
sure are not. One time I had this guy in LA. I was in LA. He texted me for multiple days. I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. I said, okay, whatever. So, because a lot of times when people say that, they are not spending money. They are just. So he gets to the room, right? So we go to do the do. And he has me like with both of my legs in the air, right? But he had me hold his cell phone like this in front of my face. And he had my Jeff model scene playing. And he wanted to role play that he was Jeff. Or J. Crew, really. But he wanted to role play that he was Jeff from Jeff's Models and watch it on his phone. They're wild, dog. There's some really wild shit that goes on like with these people in these rooms, and sometimes it's like really creepy because you don't know how much that they're watching you or how much that they're a fan of you. So like sometimes people will bring up things and I'll have to be like, look, I'm not really comfortable talking about that. Like it's hard boundary. I'm not talking to you about my kid. Like I'm not. One time somebody asked me if my sister was my sister, and my sister she has special needs, so I was just like felt extra protected, like why, first of all, how do you know that's my sister and why are you asking me that? So because I don't want somebody to be like predatory on her. She would not have the capacity to understand that somebody was not trying to be just nice to her but trying to it's a weird motherfucking place. I have people like, for example, my persona, Kylie BBW, is from Oakland. I call that the gentrifier hoe because I always feel a little bit disrespectful because, like, it's disrespectful to be a girl from the Valley and say you're from Oakland. Like, that is not a cool thing to do. But that is where my celebrity persona resides. That is where I tell people I'm from because I've had two separate people show up at my house. One of them, knocked on the door, and when I came down, I was like, "How the fuck did you even find me?" And then the next one let himself in my house and walked like halfway up the stairs. And me and my son was sitting in the living room, and we're looking at him like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then he tried to pretend it was his friend's house, but that he knew me, and I was like, wait, what are you he's like, I let myself in because I thought this was my friend's house, but I know who you are. And I'm like, regardless, dog, like, there's heat in here. There's a lot of heat in here. So do you want to die? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you do? I put myself in a lot of situations, and I grew up in a family where, my dad was a Vietnam vet. So I am prepared for all situations at all times. And, but yeah, so
See, there you know you're a celebrity. Because if it's to the point where they know family, they know certain things about you, that's celebrity shit.
so wild. Or like when I tried to when I first moved to where I live and I tried to do the dating apps, it's so creepy, dog. This is how they do it. You'll be sitting there, you're chilling, you're having a nice time vibing, and they'll be like, I know you. Oh, what do you mean I know you? Like, no. Okay, first of all, are you saying that you know my work? Are you saying that you've seen me online? Because like instantly when they say that, you have now become a trick fan who got past the boundaries. Like, that's not, if you led with that, then it's like, okay, cool. Now I have the opportunity to decide whether I want to see you or not. But when people like just spring that on me and we've been hanging out, then it's a total turn off for me. It's an instant turn off. Yeah, you really have to protect yourself because I
Yeah, because you don't know if
do
they
not.
like you because you a porn star, they like you because you a person.
That it's always because I'm a porn star. Ever since I've been a porn star, it's just because I'm a porn star. Like everybody wants to fuck, nobody really wants to date. Plus in 2022, I think that what the concept of what dating is, people really, have strayed away from. And like for me, I'm a single mom and I
Mm-hmm.
just don't have the time for anybody to be taking away from the table. And I just
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like the men of 2022 are suiting up and showing up to the table like they need to. For example,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of people who want to fuck me, right? Well, in the last week, my house has flooded. So most of my personal belongings in my room have been destroyed, right? So I've had to
Yeah.
uninstall and reinstall a washer by myself. I've had to move a mattress by myself. And all these people who claim they are trying to court me, I love you so much, I'm your biggest fan, none of them was willing to stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to be doing these things because this 5'2" woman doesn't need to be moving a king mattress by herself. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't really feel that there's anybody, who is stepping to me in a way where I would be like, yeah, I want to open the door to receive this. Like nobody ran to Home Depot for me today. I had to go to Home Depot. I had to repair the washer. I have to do all that. Like, so I just, until somebody steps into my life that has some
Mm-hmm.
like old world values, knows how to fix some things, like I'm
Well, see,
sticking
well,
to
see, well, see, well, see. This new era, men don't court the women no more, as my grandma used to say. Period. They don't take the time out to get to know the woman. Because like with you, I'm sorry, you a gorgeous ass woman. You beautiful. Period. I was like, because you had put up an old picture of you one time. I said she was gorgeous then and she gorgeous now. Ain't nothing changed but the age. you know. But no, but men don't court. 'Cause even like with me being over marriage, what have you. I'm the kind of dude I like to get to know. Even with porn, even when I was doing content trade, I wanted to get to know the lady before we worked together. The reason why to establish trust and comfortability, and two, also, well, because I knew some of them escorted. How much could I trust this woman sexually? Because did she practice safe sex with her clients or not? Do I need to worry?
Uh-oh.
Any of that shit. But
Are you still there?
yeah, I'm still here, baby. But it just to me, guys don't take the time out to get to know. But that's because there's so much you find out about a person because we put so much shit on the internet about ourselves personally that it makes them feel that they know us and they don't. Hello? 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 Oh,
Oh.
can you hear me? Can you hear me? We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.